yo, 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 yo. Hey, ¿cómo está? Soy Matthew Diazable. That's my Spanish for you. Oh, yeah. It's bueno. Anyway, I'm here doing another album review, and here we're checking out the band Orden 66, or in Spanish, or Orden 67, Sintete, Sintete, y six. Uno, doce, cuatro, cinco, cinco. Man, my Spanish is so bad. Sorry, guys. And I'm from Texas. I should do better. Yeah, we're checking out the album Return to Chaos from Orden 66, out from Chile. A little bit about them. They're a fastcore band that is influenced with death metal and beatdown style hardcore music. They've been around for about 3-4 years now. They just dropped this EP this past year. They were a band that requested a album review, and so I'm happy to check them out, give some feedback on them, let you guys hear a little bit like what they sound like and just my overall impression of this album. So with that being said, vamonos. Starting off this album, we have an instrumental track called Epiphany, and it starts out with some like creepy, like ghostly like sounding synths that like sweep back and forth between the earphones. It sounds very interesting. I think it helps sets a tone for the album, which is going to be very like creepy and very like there's going to be some like ghostly vibes to this album. Hey guys, as I'm doing this review, I'm noticing all the names I think are in Spanish all the time. So this is Pentasilla. It starts off with like a weird ringing at the beginning of the song, and then it goes right into some like heavy deathcore sounding chugs, pummeling drums. The vocals sound very, very cupped, but he sounds like he's got a lot of stamina and a lot of like he's really coming from his diaphragm because it sounds very large. But as I was listening along to this track, it seemed like the vocals in the mix were turned up too loud because it was drowning out some of the song. I would say the bass was kind of turned down a little bit. It was really hard for me to hear the bass. The call outs are kind of mixed, a little bit weird, I think, when they're doing these his call outs kind of like drowned out a bit. The breakdown is pretty heavy, pretty clean. Very surprised by that. Overall, it's a very standard deathcore song, I think. Nothing too ambitious here, but they're just having fun, I think. And we move along to the song Chaos, which is very, very chaotic from the name alone and the first 20 seconds of the song, because there's like no groove to it, feels like in the first 20. It's just blah, sporadic and chaos. But then they say, fuck the police. So like, yay, police kind of suck sometimes. But the drums definitely come in and save the song like in the later half of the song, give it some like grooviness to it, because that first part of it is just like wildly crazy. And so it still is pretty wild and crazy and fast, but it's very controlled and feels good by the end of the song. Leviathan is very, very like a short deathcore song, and it sounds fine, nothing too flashy. It's very deathcore, it's very heavy, nothing groundbreaking here. But I will say the vocalist is turned down for once, so it kind of helps the song breathe a little bit more. And I want to say still the mix is a little messed up because now I can't really hear the guitars. Finally, we are here at the final track, Hunting Time. And let me just say, they're bringing out the big fucking guns for this song. The guitars, very large. They have a very strong dissonant sound to it, and it just really like revokes, like not revokes, but catches your attention. And then also he's singing in Spanish, and for some reason, when he's singing in Spanish, his lyrics, well, his words and feelings just sound so more like impactful, and like he's really like about this life that he's singing about, because he just sounds like he's got a lot to say, and it feels more alive in Spanish. While in English, it just felt very standard, like I'm singing in English doing a deathcore song. But this was something else. It's something wildly. Um, the sound clips are really great. Very thick bass, heavy two steps, mixes between goes back and forth between mathcore and deathcore. I get lots of like Dillinger Escape Plan sounds on this song. Overall, it's very, very groovy. Best song on the EP by far. And then they do their own version of like an arf arf orf orf. It's like a heavy bulldog version of Arf Arf. So they do like Knock Loose, Dillinger, but they're just doing Spanish versions of it. And the guest vocalist on this song, it sounds really phenomenal. And the style metal, I think, is what they do better than deathcore. It sounds really good. So I think a little bit of a clip would be really cool to show like what they're about. So tell me what you guys think. Tell me you didn't get a little bit of like Dillinger Escape Plans with this song. And overall, I would say it is a very chaotic album in terms of sound, styles, and mixing, recording. And some of that chaos is really good, and other times it's not that great, such as in the times of like the mixing, because it can sound very muddled and very like low mixed. Like the vocals are turned up too loud, guitars are too low. It's very uneven a lot of the times, it feels. And then sometimes with that chaos, it works, but most of the time I feel like it doesn't. But another standout thing I think is you get some variety here with the mathcore, a little bit of knock loose, metalcore sounds and deathcore. When they try and mix it up a little bit, they do a pretty good job of it. So I give them kudos to that. And the drums sound really good when they get some time to be like interesting and play dynamically and sound different. So that's nice. Guitars, very good. Bass, there's no good or bad. They were just there and they're doing their job pretty well. I would say, like, again, with the vocals, maybe need to be turned down a little bit, mixed in a little bit better. I think on the production side, the vocals weren't that great. But when he does Spanish, I think that's where I think they might be stronger for their band to, instead of going in English, stick to the Spanish, because he sounds a lot more confident once singing in Spanish. So I would highly recommend that they do more Spanish songs, because I'd be super stoked to hear how they would sound if they did their sound, but in a more Spanish influenced style. So those are my thoughts on this album from the band Orden 66, Return to Chaos. And this album is a nice solid 6 out of 10. Thanks guys for coming by. Thanks Orden 66 for giving me the chance to check out your music. I was happy to check them out. Please always send me more music, more recommendations. I'm happy to check anything out and give my feedback and discuss and have a good time. Till next time, guys. Bye.